Okay.
On June 3, 1945, Radio Moscow proclaimed that the leader of the Catholic Church, Pope Pius XII, had been Hitler's pope, insinuating that he had been an ally of the Nazis during World War II. This was the first salvo of a calculated operation designed to smear the reigning pope in the eyes of the world. Radio Moscow's insinuation fell flat as a pancake. Churchill called him the greatest man of our time, and Albert Einstein wrote, "Before I had not been interested in the church, but today I felt a great admiration for the church, which alone has had the courage to stand against the Hitlerian onslaught on liberty." In the 1960s, the Kremlin tried again with a new generation. Central to that framing effort, codenamed Operation Seat 12, was the 1963 theatrical play The Deputy, written by the leftist German playwright Rolf Hackut. It had the KGB's hands all over it, and it proceeded to promote the idea that Pius XII was Hitler's pope.
If you plug in, it's not just a play, but it's the whole Soviet disinformation mechanism behind the play that's promoting the play, doing books about the play, having the play translated and produced, and making kids in high school in the Soviet Union and other satellite nations go see it each year.
This man is in ground zero in Rome, surrounded by hostile forces.
No one seriously doubted where the Pope stood during the war. This all came up afterwards, after the Soviet plot came in, beginning in 1963 with the play The Deputy.
They used the network of the Roman Catholic Church to save Jewish lives.
Every rectory, every convent, every school throughout Rome became a sanctuary for Jews. In Rome, they saved about 8,000 Jews that way, and had one of the highest percentages of anywhere people being saved. There are a lot of testimony from Jewish people who say, I was there, or my relatives were there.
The Concordat that was signed with Germany enabled the church to save converted Jews. He was infiltrated by spies and still managed to save Jewish lives, which were not part of his flock. How the world came to change its opinion of him is outrageous. The Valkyrie attempt on Hitler's life, 1944. We have the documents of the Kaltenbrunner report. It names Pacelli and his secretary Lieber as co-conspirators. Why? Because they were. They actually said that they would not interfere to negotiate a peace unless Hitler was dead.
He was hailed at the liberation of Rome, at the end of the war, at the time of his death in 1958. There are letters that the Holy See was inundated with letters and tributes and thanks and stuff, and everyone, and that's 1958. By 1963, he's a villain. How does that happen? Well, it happens because it was an orchestrated campaign.